Hello there, welcome to Lunchtime News here on News First, where the people come first. You're joining me, Naveksha Gunasekar, and we start off by taking a look at your headlines. Almost half of Sri Lanka affected by poverty, reveals University of Peradeniya.
Samaste janagahanen අඩකට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ වසර තුල දරිද්‍රතාවයෙන් පෙළෙන්නට පුළුවන් කියන කාරණය තමයි එමගින් පැහැදිලි වන්නේ.
CID to investigate train delays to determine if sabotage was at play. Police seek public support to locate and arrest the main suspect in the Minuangoda triple murder. Whitefly infestation affects coconut cultivations. In your top story, a survey conducted by the Peradeniya University revealed that almost half of Sri Lanka's population is faced with poverty. These facts were revealed during a press conference organized by the Department of Economics and Statistics of the Peradeniya University.
පේරාදෙණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ආර්ථික විද්‍යා අධ්‍යයනාංශයේ අපි ආචාර්යවරු කිහිප දෙනෙක් එකතු වෙලා ලංකාවේ දරිද්‍රතාවය පිළිබඳව යම් ආකාරයක අවබෝධයක් ලබා ගැනීමට පුළුවන්ද කියන එක පිළිබඳව
A number of professors attached to the economics department of the Peradeniya University teamed up together to carry out a census regarding the poverty levels of the Sri Lankan public. According to statistics, 700,000 people were faced with poverty back in 2019, but this number increased to 2.4 million. In 2019, 700,000 families included around 3 million people who were faced with poverty. Now there are around 9.6 million people who are faced with poverty. It is evident that close to 42% of the Sri Lankan population is faced with poverty at present. It is clear that almost half of the Sri Lankan population is suffering from poverty.
සමස්ත ජනගහනයෙන් අඩකට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ වසර තුල දරිද්‍රතාවයෙන් පෙළෙන්නට පුළුවන් කියන කාරණය තමයි එමගින් පැහැදිලි වන්නේ.
SJB Member of Parliament and the Chairman of the Committee on Public Finance, Dr. Harsha De Silva, said at a time when the people's income has dropped by more than 50%, the government has introduced a Gazette on tax to tax the income of the people. Dr. Harsha De Silva said the amendment bill was presented by the Finance Minister. However, it is actually the shadows of Basil Rajapaksa and company that presented it. He said that according to the amendment bill that was presented by the previous tax regime will be in effect until the end of September, and the new tax system will be in effect from the 1st of October. Moving on, opinions were expressed at the Sri Lanka POTUS press conference held in Colombo today about the draft bill presented to amend the Inland Revenue Act. Professor Rajitha from the Sri Lanka POTUS said that the country cannot further depend on external sources to bridge the deficit. The SLPP MP said tax amendments will broaden the tax net. Moving on, former Norwegian government Minister Eric Solheim has been appointed as the international climate advisor together to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, along with former Maldives President Mohammed Nasheed. He called on President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Wednesday and tweeted that the president has a great vision to green economic recovery and for Sri Lankan climate leadership. The movement to protect the rights of pensioners filed a complaint with the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission. The movement to protect the rights of the pensioners claimed in its complaint that the government had suspended the gratuity payment for pensioners for more than a year. They said delayed payments had posed economic and social risks to the pensioners at large. Former Minister of Health Dr. Rajitha Senaratne says the government must intervene immediately to bring some form of relief for the people of Sri Lanka whose lives are at risk due to severe medicine shortage in the country.
ඖෂධ වලට සල්ලි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා රට. නමුත් ඒක ප්‍රසම්පාදනය කරගන්නට
The government has received funds to purchase medicine, but the Ministry of Health has been unable to procure new stocks. Some of these processes have taken more than 6 to 7 months, and still there's no way forward by the ministry. What is the Ministry of Health doing to safeguard the lives of the people? Medicine is a vital, essential need. There's no point about talking about processes. Most of the officials in the Health Ministry were Gotabaya Rajapaksa's friends and family. They have no insight into public administration. saying your children could lose their lives or even lose an arm or leg, but none of that matters to these politicians. The government must intervene immediately to safeguard the lives of the people.
In more headline-making news, the Criminal Investigation Department has launched an investigation to determine if the recent delay on the main line was an act of sabotage.
Passengers were inconvenienced on several occasions last week due to delays in the main railway lines. Last Saturday, the Rajitha Odyssey train, which was newly added to Anuradhapura, was delayed due to a cable being cut off the Kalaniya area of the main line. On the same day, the Uttaradevi train derailed at Thabuttegama, and due to these reasons, the trains running on the northern route were delayed. Railway officials point out that these incidents may be acts of sabotage. Meanwhile, the Railway Department says that measures have been taken to tighten the security of the trains. Railway General Manager WADS Gunasinghe has said that special instructions have been issued to the railway security officers and ticket inspectors. Accordingly, short-distance trains are to be checked randomly. He further mentioned that railway security officers have been deployed in long-distance trains as well.
Sri Lanka police is seeking public assistance to locate and arrest the main suspect responsible for the brutal triple murder in Minuwangoda on the 6th of October 2022. Police said that the suspect is currently in hiding.
Sri Lanka Police is requesting the public with any available information to reach out to the Minuwangoda OIC, Gampaha ASP and SSP. Police said the suspect is currently in hiding and his details are as follows. Name Jayagodage Sanjeeva Don Sanjeeva Lakmal. Age 39 years. NIC 8332 14292V. Address number 10 Mahindarama Road, Sri Javardhanapura Kotte. A triple homicide was reported from Minuwangoda on the 6th of October 2022, and reports suggested that these murders are linked to an incident involving a kite and an argument between the two boys dating back to 2017. A 51-year-old man and his two sons, 23 years old and 24 years old, were brutally murdered, adding more bodies to a string of murders.
Multiple coconut cultivations in Sri Lanka have been affected by the white fly, an agricultural pest. The Coconut Research Institute had informed coconut plantation owners to immediately inform the local coconut development officer if there is any doubt of a whitefly infestation.
The report of a whitefly infestation was reported back in 2019 from the Kegal district, and it later spread to many other areas. The Coconut Research Institute said the whiteflies have already caused serious damage to coconut and king coconut trees. It urged cultivators to use soap water or pesticides or neem extract to counter the spread of the whitefly.
The Gum at the Door-to-Door program's 6th edition is on day 8, and the teams are accompanied by the University of Peradeniya.
Gum at the Door-to-Door.
The Gum at the Door-to-Door program is currently in effect in the Galle, Anuradhapura and Mana districts. The Gum at the Door-to-Door team in Anuradhapura visited the farming communities in the Mannankattiya Great Irrigation Project, which is located in the Gallin Bidanuava Divisional Secretariat. These farmers are facing serious issues in making ends meet due to the shortage of fertilizer, fuel and other necessities, as well as increased prices in available stocks. The community as a whole revealed that the rising cost of living has made it a challenge to survive. Although these families have been living in this area for many decades, they are yet to be given any title to their properties. The Gum at the Door-to-Door team in Galle district visited multiple villages in the Vaturamba Battegama area. Around 2,000 families are living in the Kirindalhena and Mahahena villages, and the Kirindalhena Vavar, which used to be a source of water for agriculture and daily use, is now a playground. The Vavar was constructed back in 1957, and lack of maintenance had led to its present state. The Gum at the Door-to-Door team in Mana district visited the Pesale area. The main issue faced by the people living here is a lack of access to clean drinking water. The fisheries village in Pesale was also visited by the Gazette, the door-to-door team. The high cost of fuel has forced many boats to remain ashore, while fishermen claim their livelihoods are at a risk as well due to this situation.
Gazette, door to door.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa called on the Mahanayaka of the Asgiri chapter of the Siam sect, the most venerable Warakagoda Sri Senaratne Thera.
අපේ රටේ ආත්මගරුත්වය කෙලසලා තිබෙනවා. රට බංකොලොත් රටක් බවට පත් කරලා තිබෙනවා.
The respect that Sri Lanka had has been tarnished. The country is now bankrupt. Farmers are deprived of the fertilizers, fishermen and the public were deprived of fuel. Industries and banks are put at risk. There needs to be change in this country. The rogues cannot decide for the country. The people will decide. Therefore, we call for elections to elect a new government to bring new reforms for the country. Election reforms are a means of delaying the election.
අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ මැතිවරණ ක්‍රමය වෙනස් කරන්න පළාත් පාලන ක්‍රමය වෙනස් කරන්න මේව කො ඡන්ද කල්දමන උඩර වැටි.
Members of the National People's Power made a complaint to the CID yesterday regarding a statement that is circulating on social media stating that, among others, several members attached to the National People's Power had funded a businesswoman who is currently in remand.
I
have no connection with this woman or her husband. I do not know any of these people personally. This is nothing but a blatant lie. There is an ulterior political motive behind this to accuse and sling mud at some of us who have nothing to do with this. They are trying to destroy our reputation.
නොවි ඉන්න අයව උත්සාහ කරනවා දේශපාලන වශයෙන් අපේ කීර්ති නාමයට හානි කරන්න තමයි මේ වගේ ව්‍යාපාර කරන්නේ. අපි ආණ්ඩුවට කියනවා
The government can't stop us by slinging mud at us. We will carry out this fight together with the people even if they murder us on the street. We do not expect the Rajapaksas or the Vikramasinghes to grant us justice. But we made a complaint nevertheless. We challenge the government to prove we are connected to this. These Rajapaksa henchmen who are publishing these stories on social media should at least verify their content before publishing it. We challenge these henchmen and the police chief. We have made a formal complaint. If you are accusing us of these things, conduct an investigation and showcase evidence of these so-called facts that you have reported with the amounts we had given them.
King Charles III's coronation date is already marked on the royal family calendar for another reason. Buckingham Palace announced on Tuesday that the new king will be officially crowned on the 6th of May 2023, the same day his grandson Archie Harrison celebrates his 4th birthday.
The coronation date is earlier in the year than widely speculated, as many believe that King Charles would pick June 2nd to honour the date of Queen Elizabeth's coronation in 1953. The coronation marks the second time that a royal milestone falls on a birthday weekend for one of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's young children. The palace said the ceremony would reflect the monarch's role today and looks towards the future while staying rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry. It has still not been confirmed whether there will be a bank holiday to mark the day, although the fact it falls on a weekend might suggest this is unlikely. The Queen's coronation on the 2nd of June 1953 took 3 years with a congregation of 8,000 dignitaries. The event was broadcast live on television, attracting record-breaking audiences around the world. Back then, thousands lined the streets for a glimpse of the Queen in the gold state coach, which has been used for coronation since George IV. It is not known whether the coach will be used this time.
Angela Lansbury, who won international acclaim as the star of the US TV crime series Murder, She Wrote, has died at the age of 96.
The three-time Oscar nominee had a career spanning 8 decades across film, theatre and television. Born in 1925, she was one of the last surviving stars of the golden age of Hollywood cinema. The family said the children of Angela Lansbury are sad to announce that their mother died peacefully in her sleep at home in Los Angeles. Born in London, Angela later moved to New York and attended the Figgin School of Dramatic Art. She was noticed by a Hollywood executive at a party in 1942 and given her first role as a maid in the 1944 film Gaslight.
Vladimir Zelensky has urged countries to hit Russia with more sanctions in response to a new wave of terror after Monday's attacks on Ukraine.
At least 19 people were killed and scores more injured as Russian missiles hit regions across the country. Defiant, he said the attacks will only delay recovery a little. Following more strikes on Tuesday, Zelensky called on the West to find new ways to apply political pressure to Russia and support Ukraine. The calls came after he met the G7 group of nations for emergency virtual talks on Tuesday. The bloc, which consists of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US, promised to continue providing financial, humanitarian, military, diplomatic and legal support to his country for as long as it takes.
Now that's a wrap of the lunchtime news here on News First. For all these stories and much more, you can visit our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day ahead.
ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කළඹන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe